Hello and welcome back to my Let's Play of DiRT Rally. In the last episode, we won. We were very successful in Germany, which means that the two main locations in the game where I feel I have the greatest success so far, we've got big wins, which is excellent. Even better, our closest rival really struggled, sort of had some reliability issues, finished down in 7th. But now we're here in Finland, and Finland is a really interesting location. Pretty much, this is the epitome of high risk, high reward gameplay.
3, 2,
can
1,
so easily absolutely bin it here.
100 over bridge.
It's going to be interesting to see how we fare. So the entirety, or at least the vast majority of the tracks that I've seen in this location are all based around these sort of quite heavily, these gravel tracks which have quite significant ditches on either side. And you pretty much want to be obviously avoiding those quite a lot. The other thing that you notice in Finland is that there are very, very few tight corners. This is pretty much all for like 3, 4, 5, 6 are usually the only numbers that you hear. There's a lot of up and down, there's an awful lot of bumps in the track, and you need to be really careful. And I think one of the things that makes it harder than the other rallies is that if you don't know the course perfectly, like say there, I had to brake quite significantly there in order to not fly off that crest at an angle that would mean that I couldn't get around the next corner. And I think some of the issues, and I might well be talking over with my co-driver, which obviously won't be helping, but with this many crests and this many jumps, which is obviously what Finland is so well known for, you have these big issues at points where line over crest, you end up with these things where it's like, I know that there's a corner coming up of some form and I want to be able to prepare for it. But if you go off that jump at the wrong angle, you need to be preparing for corners well before you actually see them. And sometimes, because of the nature of the crests and stuff like that, you just can't see them. Sometimes you will go into a jump, you'll go over a jump and then you'll realise, now I'm, really, really going to struggle going around this next corner because I misaligned, or I'm going straight towards the ditch, and that's going to cause my car to completely freak out, like stuff. I think that's the main issue that comes with Finland, because if it was perfectly flat, then the majority of this would be high speed. You would just be flooring it the entire time. There are significant sections in this stage and in the previous stage where you would be at max speed, at least certainly in these lower cars. I'm sure in the really faster cars, the higher classes, then you don't necessarily get all the way up to top speed. But you need to carry an awful lot of speed through these tracks, and you just need to have a good grasp, a good familiarity with it. Which kind of goes against the whole idea of the rally in some ways, which we spoke about last time. It's all about sort of dealing with things that are, problems that turn up, and you actually have to deal with it as they arrive, which isn't really what this is going for. So yeah, we have so we'll see how we're doing. This has been a very good start. I think, you get a really good feeling for what this sort of rally is going to offer in terms of these rolling hills, some big jumps, some difficult corners, and but difficult in the sense that you need to be very careful with your line. I think this is the other thing. It's probably the rally where you need to be most precise with your line through every corner as we make it through. just from the perspective of making the next one and being able to carry speed through, as opposed to something like, as that guy's going to really struggle with his slow puncture, because obviously he doesn't get to go into the, he doesn't get to fix his car until next time. But yeah, no, so, you know, you take something like Sweden, which is also really, really intrinsic about keeping on with the lines. Your line into every corner is really, really important in that rally, but that's because everything's quite narrow, and you need to be, you know, you need to have really good fine-tuning of the car. Here, the tracks are certainly wide enough, but they're also designed in such a way, you know, they very much have this perfect, you know, or usually quite perfect camber, and then quite a steep drop off into those ditches. And if you catch one of those ditches, it can be a pain getting out. And if you, you know, that camber can really throw the car and make it very difficult to control the car, either under braking or,
4, 3,
you know, in a lot of different ways.
2, 1, go. Right,
but it's definitely the fastest.
130.
Well, actually, it might not be. It's certainly one of the fastest rallies. With obviously Germany. Germany is very fast as well,
right,
because you have that.
100, 2
you know,
small crest.
In Germany, it's very much a
into left 3 long, opens over crest.
Fast section, slow, fast, slow.
40.
You know, you very much have
Crest.
sections of very high speed,
long.
and then you slow right down.
Crest.
In this one, you primarily
Into
just stay
right
at
four
very
half
high, you know, high to
60.
moderate speed, and I need to be way more careful.
Left 6 over crest jump maybe.
Because
80.
you wipe out here, and it's
Right,
you know,
6
you
times
cost
3
yourself
over
a huge
crest.
amount of time.
100.
That is something else that I didn't mention
Right, 3 over crest, keep in.
from
80.
sort of
Crest.
when I've been talking about how these
And
games
right
have
5
been
over
structured.
crest
So
jump.
you'll have
60.
noticed that,
Crest jump
you know,
maybe,
after every
left
2
5.
stages we get to
And
go
crest
back
jump.
to the garage and we
Into
can
right
apply
6
some
long over crest,
repairs to the
bump
car,
past
which
junction.
you know, to up that performance, stuff
And
like
right
that.
6. Crest jump maybe.
Which is all very
and left 3 long.
you know, important
And crest.
to sort of like how
Left
we're
6 through dip
faring.
and crest jump.
What it does mean though is that if you struggle,
right 6 over
if you
crest,
you know have an
5.
incident
Past
in
junction,
the
left
first
6
stage of
don't
repair, then you have to carry that
Into
issue
right
through the
5,
second stage
left
as
6
well,
through dip,
and that can be a real
and
issue
right 5 over
going
crest jump
into
maybe,
you know
stay right.
the sort of
Left 6 don't cut, 80.
very
Right
much through
6
this idea
over
that it's a marathon, not a
and left
sprint.
4 long. Crest.
So there, like I slowed down
right
there
6
where I
over crest
probably
past
didn't need
junction
to, but I
continues
wasn't
and
feeling
times
like I
4
had the
long.
control of the car that I needed.
60. Right 3 past junction, opens over 2 crest, keep left through dip, crest. Right 5 past junction and crest.
Yeah,
And left 6 through dip, into middle over crest, 40. Keep right over long crest, jump maybe.
So I think this one has one of the longest
right 6
sections where you can just go
times 4
flat
jump
out
maybe.
this track and its reverses. We pick
Into
up
left
a
4 half long,
bunch
don't
of
cut,
time in that
40.
sector. That was a
Right 5 past
beautiful
junction,
sector.
keep in, over crest, jump, and caution, left 4 half long,
It
keep
wasn't
in,
even
over
perfect,
crest,
but we
rocks on
absolutely
exit.
smashed it. It may well also be again that
And
our
crest jump
main
maybe,
competitor
into
has
right 4 long times 3.
suffered an incident or something.
Into left 3 half long.
That can also happen, and
Into crest jump
very
maybe.
useful on one, you know, in one way it's very
130
useful, and in
past
another you're like,
junction,
oh, I kind of just want to win on
Right 5 long over
my
bridge,
own
don't
merits.
cut. Left 4 long
But we'll
past
take it for
junction,
now.
opens and times over crest,
that,
don't cut.
that could have
40
definitely
past
gone
junction.
worse if I didn't sort of really slow down
Crest.
over that crest.
Right 3 don't cut. 100
I think one of the
past
main things I'm
junction.
really looking forward to with
Crest.
this is
100.
explore it,
Right
like
4
the
long,
different
opens over
vehicles,
crest, past
you know,
junction.
the different classes and stuff like that are
Crest,
really, really
130.
interesting. And I really want to, you know, go
Middle over
into,
crest,
as
jump
the
maybe.
difference does seem to imply that the guy who
Into
seems to
middle
be very
over
close
crest,
to me
jump.
isn't, which
60.
is interesting.
Caution right 6 past junction.
But yeah,
into middle over big jump.
the vehicles,
crest jump.
if we get like,
150 over bumps past junction.
as we enter the very long straight section I was talking about, or at
left
least
6, middle
straight
over
enough
crest
that you
jump
can just
maybe.
floor it.
And crest.
You know,
And
getting
keep
into
right
new
over crest.
vehicles, which
And
have a
crest.
hell of a lot more
40
power. You
past
know, this is
junction, crest jump
seems very
maybe.
much limited to 88.
crest
I'm
into left
probably,
6 through dip.
I'm
Continues
probably
over
able to
crest.
change that if I went into
200
the
past
settings, but I
junction.
haven't really fiddled
6
around
over
with that
crest.
at all.
And caution right 5 over
Again,
crest
very,
jump maybe.
very much a noob at this whole
40 keep
sort of
left
thing.
over crest.
A sort of modifying
Finish.
differential or stuff like that is not something I'm particularly practiced in. But you know, I want to see how doing these same stages in the much more powerful vehicles. Actually, the guy just had a bad sector, so we did a good job there. We're actually doing very well in this rally as a whole. But taking those, you know, really powerful vehicles and shooting them through these rallies is going to be a load of fun too, I'm sure. So yeah, you can see how, again, we've got a case where our tracks are, you know, a pair and then the reverses. You can see that actually the track lengths here are actually very long. They're, you know, 8K, which is longer than most of the other ones, but because obviously your average speed is so much higher, the time spent on each track is about the same. Yeah, around the sort of 4-minute mark. So we will repair up.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And keep right over 2 crests, 40. Left 5 over crest jump maybe. And left 6 over crest. 200 past junction, crest. Right 6, half long through dip. Into crest. And crest jump maybe.
So again, because this is the repeat of the previous track, it has a very long, completely flat out section right here at the start where we'll usually pick up time here. Usually not a lot of time, obviously, but I find the game is sort of designed to sort of give you some time here. You do need to be careful, but they're like, you know, if that corner had been several meters after, you know, closer, with that jump there, it would have been a lot harder.
Crest jump maybe. Left 3 continues for 100
so pick up 6 seconds just by holding accelerate down to the
40 past
floor.
junction. Right 5 over crest, don't cut, opens and tightens.
Probably lost that 6 seconds there, but at least we didn't,
and
you
left
know,
5 long over bridge,
have any
don't cut.
proper damage.
Crest,
Or
130
proper
crest
issues
jump.
with it, which is nice.
Into right 3 half long. Into left 3 long, opens, don't cut. Into crest jump maybe. And right 3 over crest, opens past junction crest. And crest jump maybe. Left 5 keep in. 40. Right 4 half long, don't cut. Into left 4 opens over crest. And crest. And right 6 over bump. Keep left over long crest jump maybe. 40. Caution right 6.
Yeah, lost a bit of time
Middle
there,
over big
but
jump.
okay.
Into right 6. 40.
So obviously keeping up, like, as if we're not making mistakes, we're making time, which is nice. And if we do make small mistakes, then sort of negates the relatively small time gains we're making.
Left 4 long, opens and continues past junction.
Shoot.
And crest bump. And right 4 long.
Yeah, I was not paying attention there, needed to slow down for the fall.
And left 6 over crest. 80. Right 6, don't cut. Left 5 over crest jump maybe. And
This
right
bit's pretty
6 through
fast
dip
too,
past
but
junction crest.
doing it
Left
in
5 into
reverse.
crest. Right 6 don't cut.
Just gonna
Left
make
5
sure.
opens over crest. 40 through dip. Keep right over crest jump maybe. Right 6 through dip. Crest 60, right 3 and crest. Left 6 over 100. 40.
Okay, we lost time, that's fine, that's absolutely
Middle
fine, we
over crest
deserve to
jump,
lose time
right
in that
4,
sector.
60. Left 5 over
Just got a
crest
bit
jump.
complacent.
80. Left 3 half long over crest past junction, crest. 100.
We lost
Left
time in the
3
sector,
opens crest,
going in the
80.
opposite direction. Let's see how we fare this time.
Right 6 over crest jump, 80. Left 4 half long. Into crest. Right 3 long. Crest, right 3 long. crest, and crest, 100. Left 6 over crest, don't cut,
Okay,
40.
I think that probably could have been a lot quicker there. We didn't
Right
seem to
4
be really
keep in.
hitting those apexes or anything like that. Still.
130 to finish.
Okay. Spin it. Okay, pick up some more time. There we go, 2 seconds. Okay, that's not too bad, not too bad. If we keep this up, then, you know, okay, so we've got 24 seconds in hand going into the last one. Again, the main issue with Finland and is just that constant risk that because you're always at such high speed that you're always, if you're going to have a crash, you're probably going to have a high impact crash, and if you have a high impact crash, you're far more likely to, say, lose a wheel or you know, have some form of reliability issues, something along those lines. Get a really bad puncture or something that makes the rest of the stage really difficult. So as long as we don't lose 24 seconds here, we'll do well.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Right 4 over crest and crest, and left 4 opens 40. Right 4 half long past junction 150. Left 3 over crest 60. Right 4 opens over crest 40.
Could have taken a lot more speed into that corner, but going over the crest, you know, not being able to exactly see where you're next going, that sort of thing, you've always got to be careful.
And left 4 long, and right 5 into middle over crest jump. And right 6, 60, left 5 over bump, tightens 4 over crest, and crest 100, bump.
Nice.
Left 5 over crest 60, right 3 half long, keep in, into right 6 over crest 60 past junction, right 6 over crest jump maybe, 80 crest jump, 60 past junction, middle over crest jump, 40, care left 5 over crest, tightens 4, into right 6 over crest, and crest, and right 4 half long 100, small crest jump, left 4 over crest and bump 100, left 6 over crest jump.
I will say that normally, you know, I struggle to keep up with the CPU here in Finland, so I feel like we've been given a pretty generous time, at least what I can judge, from sort of like that range that I mentioned sort of like in the first video of the series. The range of value, the range of sort of times that the fastest CPU will be taking. I think we've been given a pretty generous one here in order to for us to be gaining, to be making the gains that we are.
Care right 4 tightens 3 long over crest, don't cut 80 past junction crest. Left 3 don't cut past junction, opens over crest. Into middle over long crest, 60 past junction, crest jump, and line over crest jump maybe, and keep left over crest jump, 80. Caution left 6 long tightens 4 over crest jump. 60
just driving into the sun
right
looking that way, that would be an absolute terrifying at this speed.
Continues for 150 over bump, and over crest jump, maybe, and bump. Into crest jump maybe, 40 bump.
Come on, we have time to spare, no point in risking it.
Over crest. Jump bank on exit, 100 past junction.
Keep it going.
Left 4 opens crest, 60 small crest. Into right 4 half long over crest, 60 past junction.
Sometimes, like, this does not feel like a 4, it feels to me more like a 6 at times. So, but the more that you sort of believe, oh, I can carry so much more speed through corners numbered 4 or something like that. Bad. Okay.
Wrong way.
Okay, I don't think that was 24 seconds. I think if we finish the stage, we'll be fine, but
and opens 130 dip.
not good. Obviously. Obviously. But yeah, no, like, I feel like, you know, you find one, like, nice corner that you're like, oh, I can carry so much more speed through this sort of value corner. But then you realise that sort of, you know, as is sort of inherently inbuilt into this, like, not all corners are equal. Not all 4 corners are going to be, you know, ones that you can properly belt into. Just as not all, you know, 3 corners do I need to brake as heavily as I have been braking for. But you sort of, you learn sort of, you develop learned behaviours because you're like, I took too much speed into that 4, so I've got to be more careful on each of these, or stuff like that. Okay, no, that was nowhere near as, yeah. Poor final stage, but it doesn't matter, you know. We've had a good rally overall. A good victory in the rally overall, which then means that we'll be very significantly in the lead, 93 points going into the last 2. So we've only got Finland and Wales left. So hope to see you in the next episode. We'll be taking on whichever one of those it ends up being. And then, yeah, and then we will inevitably be promoted. Can we? It'll be difficult for us not to be promoted at this point, given that I think Almari would need to win and come second, or maybe along those lines. Either way, we're looking very good for promotion. We'll move up. We'll compete in everything because, again, the whole point of this is to get more and more practice, more and more reiteration on the same tracks to try and drive in this sort of understanding and this attempt to sort of be a lot more committed at times to these sort of tracks and stuff like that. So we'll see how we do. We should be good. After promotion, we'll see which vehicle we want to make next. It'll probably be a Fulvia, but we shall see. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I hope you'll join me on the next, where we'll be taking on either Wales or Sweden, event 5 out of 6 of our Open Championship run. So I'll see you then.